this show.
Here we go with this. Hey guys, I'm Lord Just Me. I'm new to the app. I'm on my double thing right now. I need all the faves I can get. No, y'all know what it is. Y'all know who I am. Lord Just Me. Big Top Badge, Star Gang. You know what it is. Mondays, karaoke. Thursdays, feature show. Thursdays, other shows. Friday, fave parties. Saturday, G-Codes. You know.
How did your show go?
The way my show goes is, hypothetically, of course, every third time right here on the Tagged app or any app connected to the Meet group, where I give out real life hypotheticals, such as you may have a roommate. You leave and go to work, you come back home, you got two roommates, because this fool to move somebody in without talking to you about it. I get people to act out the scenario. When they get done, while they acting out the scenario, they're gonna give you some real reactions. I want real reactions. It's not scripted. I just tell them what's up and then they get on. After they get done acting it out, we talk about it for a minute, figure out why they acted the way they acted. And then after that, I bring up somebody that might have really went through that situation. And man, we appreciate all of y'all pulling up, man.
All right, y'all. So what is all money in? I mean,
I'm trying to figure it out myself, bro. I'm trying to figure out the meaning of what you're saying by all money.
Pretty much, like, it don't matter where it come from. It don't matter where the dollars come from. You taking it.
Oh yeah. No. I played dominoes. I was a guy that my father told that at a young age. And one of the things about playing dominoes is sometimes you can count, you can score, you can get money. You call it getting money. But all money ain't good money, because that money could lock you into some stuff. So I'm not chasing every dollar down just because it ain't supposed to be yours. No goddamn, no way.
What you thinking, Big Ken? Masters?
100% right, man. Everybody in this life, being the color of skin that we are, we've all had opportunities where people approach us like, yo, watch this door real quick and I'll get you like $300-$400 for a couple hours of work. It's like, nah, man, I'd rather go make my money honestly, especially because you know the risk that takes it with it. Now, you got people out there that are just dumb, they'll just do it anyway because they just want to be down. But I mean, this ain't the 90s no more. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you could just do that as a teenager and get away with it. But when you get older, you understand the risk that's taken with anything that you do, and you got to be prepared to deal with the consequences. It's kind of like a quote that 50 Cent said one time. He's like, if you factor in the math and the time that you're risking, you're making less than minimum wage hustling crack on the corner.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to be like, oh, I've been there before. But if I had been there before, I would, right? You could be on the block. You could be on the block. Say you on there from Monday through Thursday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday you don't get no hits. The average American makes $500 a week.
Yep.
So city you in.
It's kind of the same thing with being a truck driver, man. Like my rookie year, I saw a dude get stomped all the way out by his first seat because he cost him $1,500 worth of child support money just by waking up late.
That's terrible.
Well, I mean, like, to be honest with you, though, I was sitting and drinking coffee, getting ready to take my second load out to Philadelphia. And he told the dude the day before, don't be late. We got to be up at 7 to get this load because my baby mama don't play. Because she was already talking about taking the child support to increase it because he had just got a raise. And if you're about yours, you know that $1,500 is his, but you also going to get your own bag in the process, so you're not going to be late. He ended up waking up at 9 and going to get breakfast and shower and all this other stuff when they're supposed to be at the dispo center at 7 because they're supposed to be hitting it at Philly time. Dude ended up, costing him the trailer. So he was like, hey, I got to talk to you for a minute over here on the side of the trailer. We need to have a discussion about what happened. As soon as they got around, because dudes from Inglewood just bow right in his face, put him down, just start stomping. It was a white dude too. It was sad because he just got his CDL. And so he explained to him why he whooped his ass, beat him up. And he called the guy, and he was like, no, don't worry about it, big homie. He's like, I knew that if you didn't show up at 8, because you're here every Friday to go to Vegas, something had to be wrong, so I saved your trailer for you. I just didn't assign it out to somebody else. It was a high value. Let's go to Walmart. And he ended up getting the trailer.
It's always Walmart.
I know.
Walmart.
He got his money anyway because he saved it for him because the dude's reputation was impeccable. Dude could get to Vegas in less than a day and a half.
Pretty much, the first chair put his hands on the other dude for some money.
Yeah.
You ever do that, Lord? You ever have to rough anybody up over some bread?
I learned a lesson about giving away something that you couldn't stand to lose, and that's what you gotta do when you dealing with money and letting people borrow money and things of that nature. You can never give a person something that you can't stand to lose, whether they trying to promise you or guaranteeing you it's gonna be back at that same time and everything else. it's not gonna chat. And then there's a chance for altercation.
Especially when you get older and you look back, you be like, man, I was so foolish for doing that. But when you're young and out there trying to get it, you justify it in your mind because you know you need it.
Yeah. You justify it in your head once you locked up though too. Now you figure it out. Yeah, that wasn't all of that. It's always a different alternative to all.
Yeah.
It's an alternative. Hey man, we appreciate all of y'all tuning in with the homie Mirror every Wednesday at 1 p.m. time right here on the Tag That.
Hey,
Hi, Nate.
Technical difficulties at its finest.
How you doing?
Hey Nate, how you doing, love? Nate, let me help my bro. Nate, what you think about all money in? Think about that.
Are we talking from the beginning?
We're talking about seeing a dollar, like whichever way it has to be, whatever you got to do to get it. How do you feel?
You know, times get hard, and I feel like that's something that people who are at a level that is so high surpassed us, they be like, there's alternatives way there is. But when you're in a desperate situation, what would you do? You know, if you had 6 bands in your hand and the person like, hey, I give you the 6 bands if you drive me somewhere, but you can't ask no questions, you don't know what's going on, but you see 6 bands in cash, a stack of 20s or 100s, what would you do when you in a desperate situation? What would you do?
That's true. That's true. But in that same situation, you still got to use logic. He already told you, you can't ask no questions. Who's to say that once he gets you to where you're going, that you really can actually get this $6,000? He might go ahead and slap you over the head with a firearm or something, and now you don't get it. Or he could just play you. You know what I mean? What if you taking that $6,000, get you a case? Because these officers find out that he told you don't ask no questions and you didn't ask none, and now you took this money. So now they got some questions. You always got to think about everything.
You always gonna be accessory.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing that's gonna stop him from snitching you out as the person that came up with the idea because you didn't ask no questions. It was all his idea. You know what I'm saying?
But
I feel you though.
I might have known somebody or known people that do things like that.
How far do you think you would go?
I would strip.
You would strip?
I would. And I wouldn't be able to do no other shit because, like, I mean, I could dance. So for me, like, I want to be able to do. I won't feel comfortable doing certain shit. So if it's just like a
no cussing, baby, no cussing.
I expect because you guys are a part of my team that you guys know better than anybody that the show is recorded, and plus we always have at least 1 or 2 ads. Thank you.
I know we always waking up.
So what's the character challenging thing you've done, Ken?
I'll keep it a buck with you, man, because I have no shame in my game. I sold myself to a woman for $200 one time. I needed the money, and she needed me. I ain't gonna sit here in front about it. It was all she had on her at the time, and I really needed the money. I was like, man, look, I get to you for $200. She was like, all right, bet. I was like, cool.
So here's the follow-up question. How did you
morals
feel
out the window?
All of them gone.
Fantastic, because it went the way I wanted it to. Within like 45 minutes, I was up out of there.
Did you double back?
No.
You didn't double back after you got 2 and you knew you could have got more?
I wasn't going to get more. It was a one-time thing. It was originally supposed to only be a foot rub and a pedicure kind of deal. And then it ended up turning into her drinking like a half a bottle of wine and us watching some kind of show called Sex in the City or something.
You surprise me every time, bro. So a girl was gonna give you $200 for a foot rub and a pedicure. You was gonna file her feet down and rub her feet for her for $200.
Yeah.
Are you a professional? Do you do feet? Do you be pedicures and all that stuff or something?
Yeah, I do it for elderly people like my grandma and stuff because they can't do it themselves. She was just like, hey, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm going through something right now. I just really don't want to be alone. You want to come through and just do my feet and I'll give you some money? I was like, sure. I was like, hey, I need the money.
Okay. My next question then, how old was she?
I was like 21. She was 26.
So a 26-year-old, never mind. We ain't even going to go into that.
Always older.
Always older. What about you, Nay? Did you, same question.
One time, but I ended up taking out a loan. So I never really I ran to a loan.
That is crazy.
Hey man, you gotta be taxing them. Payday loan.
I swear to God, on the dead homies, if you cuss in my box one more time, bro,
So Mir, let me ask you: if a girl offered you $300 and was like, "Run me that," you ain't gonna do it? And you see the cash right there on the nightstand, and she's just looking at you.
On the nightstand.
Yeah.
First off, ain't nobody about to make me feel like no cheap piece of meat. But
That's
at
not,
the same
man,
time,
that's not cheap.
Look, I have standards. She has to look a certain way. I have to know that this is not the only benefit I could get from the situation. I'm a logical thinker. I'm thinking about the whole play. You know what I'm saying? You got 500 for me. All you gotta do is just send me the Addy.
You're in control of the whole situation, though.
Yeah. But not $200.
I said 3.
All right. So look,
that's your car payment.
So look, so Lord, you can understand me on this. Random comes in your live and drops you a Goldie, and then DMs you on Instagram, not even in your regular tag DM, and be like, "Run me that." You pulling up for a Goldie?
Ooh, I'm finna run you that, all right? I'm finna run and block you and say, "Is you tripping? Like, I'm not. You can't buy me like that, man. I'm not doing no
right." So you gotta you gotta think, because like, all right, you're paying. You just randomly want to give me $200. It could be something wrong with you. You could have something. You know what I'm saying? You could literally go to the bus stop and pick somebody up and get him 200. What makes me different from everybody else?
Exactly, bro. Dude.
You know?
Exactly, bro. And
I'm
listen,
scared.
what made you? I really want to know, like, at what did you see when you looked at me that made you think? Come on, man. Like, I'm trying to figure out what type of situation did you think? I mean, you got to be in a desperate situation for a person to even look at you and think that for real, or your character has already said.
If you think, say the most I probably got, if we really want to be 100%, is probably like 5 bands. 5 bands. Yeah.
For some meat.
Yep. And there's a lot of in between the lines that we can't talk about, or we don't got time to talk about.
I paid you 5 bands for some meat.
I always keep the proof. I
come on, get into that.
Tax time be different. Tax time be different for a lot of dudes. They wait around all year long for that type of stuff right there. You can't be thinking that $200 right now, ain't you?
No, I'm not. That money went straight to my cell phone payment at the time, and I don't regret it. She was bad.
All right. So they were saying it's been going viral recently that you have 30 minutes to spend $100,000. What you spending it on?
Like we gotta spend it on something material wise. Like we gotta take it.
You just gotta spend it. You gotta spend it. Yep.
I'm going straight into real estate.
I still got $99,000 left when I'm done. I'm spending it on cashiers, Jason.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a liquor store and a laundromat, and then the rest is gonna go in. Like half of that's leftover is gonna go into real estate, and then I'm gonna put the other half into cashiers.
How much money? Hold on.
Wait,
how much money?
what? $100,000. So what liquor store you buying for $100K?
And where the laundromat at? Cause I ain't never come. You tell me I ain't never.
I would try to put the laundromat next to the liquor store.
So are you telling me you're gonna buy a business for $100? You're gonna buy an empty building for $100,000? No. You only got $100,000.
Well, I've been looking into it. They got some laundromats out here that are going for like $40K straight up key flip. If I can build on that, you can always change the dynamics inside of the business to become more profitable. Fluff and fold, you can increase the prices by about 50 cents to 60 cents a machine. The liquor store might not probably happen just because a lot of Middle Eastern folks are buying those up, and they always put them next to laundromats or other businesses like restaurants.
What you're not factoring in is that he said you have 1 hour to even negotiate.
It ain't even a full hour. It ain't even a full hour. It's 30 minutes.
It's 30 minutes. You don't have time to do all of that and buy a business and get it together and all. You don't have time. What you do is you buy something that you can turn this money, that you still have this money. You know, there's no way. Even if you do the stocks, you only got 30 minutes. Like, you don't know what's going to happen.
The most common comment I seen on the post was, pay my mama the money and then she give it back to me
as a gift. For taxes, yeah, like on Shawshank.
That's what I've seen. It was most of it's like, pay somebody the money so they can give it back. Cash app somebody. It was like, it's spending in it. You cash app somebody, as many people as you can, to get as much money as you can back.
You really gotta trust them.
Yeah, I don't know how much that's gonna work, but that was what I was seeing. People was trying to figure out how they could keep the money and not spend it in 30 minutes.
You know what, dude? I actually knew a dude who came to my GameStop store and started dropping thousands of dollars on reservations to hide money from his soon-to-be ex-wife because he was a millionaire, and it kind of worked out
That's
for him.
wild.
He was buying,
What's up, York?
yeah, he was like paying and buying off like the most expensive versions of games and stuff. So it came up to like $30,000 he tried to hide, and so when the games came out, he tried to come in and cancel them, and my boss was like, "Nah, bro, you got to buy all these." He's like, "You can't cancel them," and he got upset about it. But he was like, "Nah, man," he's like, "You ain't about to use us as no, cash washing scheme."
That's like a shell, a shell corporation. All right, y'all. So look, I say from the 1920s to I think it was 1942, random Americans were paid up to $1.5 billion to do random jobs. Ask no question jobs. All right, take this package over here, drop this over here, those kind of things. You accepting the package and dropping it off.
Transporter.
You got another one for us, Nay? You got a historical fact for us today? Okay, ketchup was medicine at first. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know if y'all care about the research, but if you guys do the research, a lot of foods were actually created to cure stomach stuff that, you ever hear your grandparents be like, "Oh, go in there and eat some Wheaties or something. It'll settle your stomach, and all that kind of stuff."
Greens, you need laxative.
Yeah. Man, I'm thinking about it. Christmas was 2 days ago. How was everybody's Christmas?
My Christmas was cool. Yeah. I took care of the babies and moms, so yeah. What you feel
I'm not
about how you feel about adults?
If I get something, I'd be surprised. And we celebrate Kwanzaa over here anyway. But you know what I'm saying? I'd be surprised. For sure.
I don't like it because people start trying to get a sense of entitlement if they don't get what they want or expect. Like for some weird reason,
women.
Yeah.
Mostly women.
Everybody expect to get a phone or something, and they be looking at you knowing you work at like Circle K. For me, I was just by myself. I just started knocking off more stuff to go to my CDL school next month. So I had a pretty good one. I got like everything down. All I got to do is just get my driver's license transferred and I can get up out of here.
That was funny, because it made me think about that movie and they made us read that book, Holes. It made me think about Holes when they was eating sweet onions.
Or when he found that can of peaches in the mountains.
Okay, so we know that it's mostly like really the dude is sitting there like this mad because the kids are talking about Santa Claus, knowing that he then worked his tail off to make Christmas happen, to have the kids think about some imaginary person delivering presents, and his girl to be sitting on the side looking disappointed because she didn't get what she was.
It's crazy. Thank you, Callie. What you think about that? We had a lot of children that had a moment, their childhood, or should we be honest with them?
My mom used to leave the cookies out, and we used to have really beautiful big Christmases. And I want my son to experience that. He gonna think Santa real.
Yeah, I don't think I ever believed in Santa Claus. We knew off the jump.
I understand that too. I mean, I kind of agree with Nate a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and spoil it for my kid. I'll let them figure it out themselves. But I still want them to have a good experience, knowing that if they did good in school and everything the whole year and they wasn't like no terrorists, I can at least get them like a baseball bat or a bike or something. I'm not going to go all out and go get no $1,800 Alienware computer for a little dude to play Fortnite on. Like, I ain't even balling like that, but I still make it nice for him. Getting school supplies.
My parents taught us the real meaning of Christmas early. So we were taught that the person who they originally was Santa Claus was actually a serial killer that kidnapped kids. It was a pagan holiday. When you put your tree up, you're pretty much, it's like putting a cross up in your living room.
Well, see,
we got taught all that stuff.
You gotta.
I mean,
I actually take Christmas seriously, so you gotta ask yourself, like, that's just one version. The other version is that he was actually a Dutchman who actually was helping orphans out, and he put the socks up because that's all the kids had, and he wasn't filling with toys. He was just filling with things like treats and little trinkets and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that story came after that was one of the people that they tried to be like, all right, no, it can't. We need something good to come from this. And then if you're in America, they'll tell you that Christmas was been in the 40s or something, 30s, 40s by an American guy. Yeah, a guy, he drew a guy with an American flag Santa Claus suit on, and that was the first Santa Claus.
I believe
so. You know,
Hallmark.
Yeah, I'm an old man, baby, and my old man wasn't none of that. I heard if I catch a man coming down my chimney, or if I wake up in the middle of the night and there's a man anywhere, Daddy's going to jail. Daddy did all of this. You get what you're supposed to be getting if you was doing right, and guess what? You're gonna get what you're supposed to be getting. If you didn't, you just ain't gonna get it on Christmas. I'm gonna sit over here and make you look at it for a whole month. We ain't never believed in.
Right. I've seen some crazy stuff to where, like, you know, stocking stuffers, to where if you it's kind of messed up, but if you we got the stockings on the wall, and you went in your stocking, if there was toys in there, then you got the toys. But if it was coal in there, they'd beat you with the coal.
That's crazy.
And that wrapped in that sock. Yeah.
That's actually one of the myths that's actually true. If you received coal and stuff, it wasn't just a lump of coal. You got beat with it with the sock tied off because you were a bad child. And that's where the Krampus mystery comes from for Germany and Eastern Europe. Krampus was supposed to be the punisher of Christmas, or if you were a bad child, he would put coal in your sock, and then you'd have to be punished subsequently for it.
You know, we know that all holidays have like a dark to them, pretty much.
It's kind of wild, though. You imagine that you get an iPhone 15, and then you got to turn around and tie off a sock and beat your sibling for calling your mom out her name for a year. It's like, you either gonna take that 15 and do what you gotta do, or you're not gonna get it. It's like, all right, come on, let's go on outside for the pie done. You're gonna get it one way or another.
We skip over religion mostly in here because it's kind of triggering. But, you know, do your own research, you know, and read the stuff right. Because Christmas is a real holiday. It just didn't really happen in this.
Tell you what, man, I miss those coal burning fireplaces, though. I take all that coal and pour it in that fireplace or that furnace, man, keep you warm. Because I'm glad it.
Man, you sound like you was living in the 1920s.
I wish I was, man. Like, not with the snow and stuff, because it snowed in Chula Vista last year, which is a trip to me because it never has down here. But hey, if you could save some money on energy, imagine how much coal would cost if you had to bill it to somebody, like we get electricity billed. Save you some money and get you a wood burning fireplace.
Our religion's cults. Sheesh.
I know. I've seen that too. I feel like anything that 2 or more people are following and willing to die for is a cult.
Willing to die for is a cult.
Yep. Anything you're willing to die for, that you just listen to the person blindly, you know, you don't ask no questions.
I'll say anything you blindly. I'll go to blindly part, but not anything that you willing to die for. I can't.
No, you got to be blind. No, you got to be blind. That's
blindly
the
led.
You got to be blind. Yeah.
That's what they be saying about a lot of politics these days.
Let's answer. I want to hit that question though, bro. Do you feel like religions are cults?
I do, because you got to think about how a lot of them started. I'm the leader, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going out feeding everybody this story, and I'm convincing them about this story. This is the only way. And if somebody tries to tell you you're wrong about your story, you got to be willing to do whatever to protect the secrets. You got to be willing to do whatever to protect me. You know, it's manipulation, you know, at its finest.
It's all about a dollar.
And
so there's no democracy in a culture.
No.
So how can you say a religion is a cult when you vote in?
This is the thing. There's no democracy in church either. If you go to the church and you argue with the pastor, what happens? They kick you out of the church.
No.
If you don't tithe, you get kicked out the church.
No.
Scientology, dog. That's the biggest cult right now.
No.
And it's getting bigger.
Hold on,
Scientology. Listen, there's no way. My father was a minister. Multiple churches. I've been music at the churches. When you had a gripe with the pastor, this here starts. Y'all would have a discussion, and then in between you and the pastor, where it would be somebody in there to mediate is that, and then y'all would talk about whatever is going on. There is no, you kicking me out of the church because I disagree with what you got going. I've never seen, and I'm talking about.
They don't handle it openly either, though. As you said, they gonna handle it in the dark. And at the end of the day, that person is still gonna be sitting in the pew listening to whatever that pastor got to say, whether they were wrong or not.
No. Why? Why would I still sit here if I had a gripe with the pastor? We sat down and had to talk about it, and we still disagree on whatever's going on. He can't make me sit here. So which means that's a democracy, and you can't make me sit here. I have the right to leave. You know what I mean? So with that being said, how?
Then what would you think makes that person stay then?
What do you think makes them stay? A lot of people don't like to, they don't like to lose their comfortability with the people that they know in the church and all that other stuff. But there's a bunch of people that leave churches, bro, and go to other congregations and things of that nature. So I've never seen a cult member leave one cult and was able to go join another one. I don't know nothing. I could be wrong. I've never heard it.
Cults mostly do like you ain't leaving because a lot of times they get to a point where they want to leave, and it's like, nah, it ain't no way up out of this.
And
you
that's
know,
what makes
but you can't. You gotta.
Those two things are
no,
so
go ahead.
far
I would say
apart.
you can't run a church. You can't really run a church that way. You know, openly at least. At least you could probably do it in a secret, like get rid of members on the low, but you're not gonna do it openly. With a cult, you go there. Once you step through the gates, ain't no walking out of the gate.
I have a question for you, Mr. Simply.
Lord, just
that's
me.
Lord.
Sorry,
Lord, just me. Simply somewhere down there.
Lord. I never really so I got saved a couple years ago, but I didn't get a chance to get baptized yet because all this craziness in my life has been going on. But from what I've always been taught growing up, you're supposed to place your faith in the pastor as your shepherd to guide you, you know, for everything. It's not like, I've always been taught that the Bible is not a end all be all. It's a syllabus, just like when we were in school, on how to guide you and how to live your life. You don't got to live it extremely that way. But from what I've been seeing and from what I've heard and seen in person, a lot of people are jack-legged preachers. And in my personal experience, I've seen it twice. But, you know, that's not everybody. One was when my mother passed away. My grandmother belonged to this church called Bethel Baptist that's in San Diego. And everybody looked at the pastor there as just like, you know, this guy. He came to my mother's funeral and he spat some of the Book of Timothy. And he just kept repeating the same Bible verse. And my grandma paid him like $1,000 to speak at my mom's funeral. And I was a little upset because I was like, dude, you're not saying anything else. You're not giving any fruit to my mom's death. You're just saying the same thing. And then you just collect this envelope and leave. And then the second part is, I mean, it was on TikTok. It's probably not true. I don't know. This guy got in trouble with his pastor, and the deacon pulled him into a private meeting with him because he said he wasn't tithing enough. He said, you're only giving $20 every Sunday. We're going to need 10 to 20% of your salary, and that's just what it is. And I was like, wow, that's crazy that was
probably demand. Yeah, but I think a lot of people put too much faith into it. The Bible even tells you that we all fall short. What I'm saying is that you don't pray to the pastor. You don't get on your knees and pray to the pastor. You still get on your knees and pray. He's just an intercession. Like, he's just somebody that has more knowledge over, or you know what I mean? And that is that. But you can get your salvation in your house by yourself and everything else. You're supposed to have your faith in yourself to make the right decision. And that's what it's supposed to be. I don't care what book you done read. In whatever book it is, it's going to be something in there that says, I set before you this day. I'm going to use the Bible. I set before you this day good and evil. It is up to your choice. It's always up to your choosing. Or choose the pastor or the flock that you follow. You choose your church home. You choose your indoctrine. That's the one thing that a lot of us don't get a choice to choose in, is the indoctrine. When I say the indoctrine, is because we're born into our religions. If your mother and father are Baptist or a Christian, when you're born, you're going to a Baptist or a Christian church right then and there. You're automatically there. So, but other than that, like, the pastor is just a man full of flaws, just like everybody else is. And that's in everything, whether you want to take this to religion or politics. The president, the senator, the congressman, they're all just men, and that they can articulate themselves and they're well versed in whatever their field is. That don't mean that I'm placing my faith in you. I'm placing my faith in God. You know what I mean? So
that's true. You're right, because a lot of pastors, they don't do what a lot of other pastors do, where they work Monday through Saturday to prepare for church. They depend on the church's tithes and stuff to subsequent their lifestyle, and some of them go overboard. Like, for instance, the guy I was talking about at Bethel Baptist, I saw him take an entire years worth of tithes and spend it on a brand new Cadillac with gold rims and a trip to Africa for his family. And then we've seen Creflo Dollar go to jail for stealing from his mega church to get a jet.
That's the man. That's man though. Like you can't
right. That's a man's flaws.
When it comes to like stuff like that, that's man's flaws. Like men seeing too much money and greed, being attacked, being weak. It doesn't matter what religion you are, because people will be in the chat. Oh, the devil made him do that and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter what religion you're a part of. Money is the root of all evil, and it can corrupt you. I'm saying, if you constantly seeing hundreds of $1,000s slide through here, and you're like, well, if I could take one, I could take two, you know what I'm saying, and nothing will ever happen. I'm a part of a organization that people call a cult all the time, and there's many people that have stolen money. There's many people that have came to the aid and rescue of people. I've seen it all. So it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be a part of a church or a part of a cult or a part of this. Anybody can create this kind of stuff. We could be up in the live right now. Like, hey, look, me and Lord are over you and Ken and A. So you guys got to pay homage to us. Give us all your diamonds, and we're going to feed you this information that we're going to shove down your throat. You see it all the time. It doesn't matter whether you're on an app, whether you're in life. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be something where somebody's going to see something like, oh, well, that's cold, or they're benefiting off of the people underneath them. It doesn't matter, you know.
I feel you.
It's just what you personally think about that.
People should not have to pay a pastor for information. Can we dive into it just a tad, right? Again, I'm a minister's son. I've been in the church forever. I've seen the inner workings of it and everything else. People overuse everything that we have all the time, right? So you mean to tell me that this pastor is supposed to be on call all the time and not be paid for traveling, all of this other stuff to come talk, everything else? Like, at some point in time, he's not supposed to be paid. How is that possible when you pay a psychiatrist or a psychiatrist?
You gotta, this is the thing, a lot of you gotta you gotta keep everything. I mean, besides him being paid for his 24-hour time, and you know, a therapist gets paid and they have to listen to stuff. The pastor has to listen to the same things. Besides the building, or if you guys are in a building, you gotta keep the building upkept. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put chairs in there. You gotta have Bibles in there. You gotta, you know, running a building is a lot. Now I understand, like, if you're getting $1 million, if you have $1 million church, but your building is only $300,000, where's the rest of the money going? You know, I would understand people saying that, but
some churches will deny you services if you don't tithe enough either. That's not being.
I got a lot of pastors, and my grandfather was a pastor. My aunts and uncles are pastors, cousins. I grew up in the thick of this myself, and I didn't see where people be like, "Oh, your grandpa's stealing," and I'm like, "How? We live in a 3-bedroom. My grandfather still works a 9-to-5 job. He drives a van." You know what I'm saying?
He's paying right.
You see other pastors. You see other pastors like, "Oh, the pastor got a Maserati or something." And the church is on 125th in the hood, you know. Then you need to open up. You need to think about it as a person, what you're supporting.
Sunday morning shakedown.
So what if he's not? No. So watch this. To the person that asked the question about or said that the pastor shouldn't be paid, should you voluntarily, you know, offering or some type of monetary thing to him? Should you do that? Do you feel like he deserves that? Because I've seen people call the pastor at 1 a.m, and he got a family at home just like they do. I've seen people call my old man out the house at 4 a.m to go bond people out of jail that did what they did, but because they mom and daddy is ministers of the church, you know, I've seen people put ministers in the middle of all type of stuff. So you mean to me at some point in time they're not supposed to, like you said it, and somebody said that they were
I see royalty says that Jesus said, people say Jesus didn't get paid, so pastors shouldn't either. How do we know? We weren't there, so how do we know people weren't 100% taking care of Jesus? Because we know Jesus didn't have no money.
You know what I'm saying? I can speak on it from based.
They were taking care of him.
The disciples.
They were taking care. They were feeding him. They was.
All right, so
that was their job. They take care of him. They take care of him, and in return, they get the word and almost a ticket in the door.
Let me get a little personal for myself here. Let me ask you a very serious question. So I didn't join the church that I was talking to at the time, but I did call the pastor up when I had a very serious problem. And I'm gonna keep it real with you, dude. My wife left me for another man who was older than me, and she got pregnant by him, and she lost the baby. Now she's calling me, telling me she wants to come back into our home after I'm getting ready to go renew my CDL license. And it pushed me over the edge a little bit before I got back to San Diego. I almost committed suicide a couple times because I felt like I wasn't worthy of anything. And so I called up the pastor at the church and I asked him straight up because I didn't know. I was like, what should I do? I don't know what I should do about this because I'm just lost. Like, I'm sleeping in a park. I'm homeless. She went and did this. And now she's telling me, now that she knows I'm getting ready to go get this bag again to renew it, that she wants me to come back. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? The man sat there and told me, he said, just put your faith in God. And I haven't heard a single word from him since, even though his church is like right down the street from where I'm staying at right now. And I'm getting ready to go do all of this stuff for myself again without this.
You said that's Bethel Baptist?
No, it's a Southern Baptist church in Spring Valley. It's run by Filipino people.
I know what church you're talking about.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it right now. But no, not Bethel Baptist. Okay. I would never put my faith in Pastor John Ringgold again after what he did to my mom's funeral. So what do I do in that situation when this man is telling me we're welcoming, we're going to take care of you, you're going to be okay, we're going to provide for you, and then he gives me that generic right there, and I'm just like, dude.
So can I ask you a question? Are you a member of his church?
I didn't get a chance to join because I left out on tour before I got the chance to join. But I was tithing, and I did give him digital tithings while I was gone for like a couple years.
What did you want him to tell you?
No. Go ahead.
I was just looking for some guidance on what I should do about the situation because I'd never been married in my life. And also, I never experienced anything like that. Like my whole life, to be honest with you, man, I ain't never had a good woman treat me good. But at the same time, I didn't expect my wife to go out and do some stuff like that, get pregnant by another dude, then lose a baby, and look at me like I got to deal with the fallout, Like my cold-heartedness just came back in a major way, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. I didn't have anybody to talk to.
At this point, we put a lot of pressure on these ministers. We put a lot of pressure on these psychiatrists and all these other people, right? Because what if he tells you to take her back and you take her back and things go crazy and all bad things happen? What if he tells you not to take her back and then later on down the line you realize, oh, I should have and everything else? Who you gonna blame? You're gonna blame him, right? Because he gave you this advice, he gave you this counsel. So in other words, I believe truly that he gave you the right counsel to keep your faith in God, to pray about what was going on and ask God to give diligence and to go through what you was going through and the wherewithal to make a correct decision. You know what I mean? We put too much faith in these people, and then look at this. You're really honestly sitting right here for telling you the right thing because he really didn't tell you what you wanted to hear. We can't always be guided by the next man's words. Sometimes I'm going to tell you, hey, listen, man, I know what you're going through, and maybe I've been through it, but what I'm going to tell you ain't going to help you. What I'm going to tell you is this, bro. Pray and do the best thing you can do, bro. Come up and ask God to help you to make the right decision.
Like I've told you. Yeah, I've told you that too, Ken.
Yeah, I know.
When you've called me, and because, we don't share a lot of our personal lives on here or stuff that we consider that we want to keep to ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So when he didn't get the answers that he wanted from one place, he called around, you know what I'm saying? He hit me up. We reconnected after we went to high school together. So we reconnected, pretty much tell him like, look, you got to think about it. You got to be a man. This is what I did. I'm not telling you this is what you should do, but evaluate your situation and make the best choice for yourself. At the end of the day, don't follow another person's words, just use them as guidance or use them, what you think. If you told, hey man, just keep believing in God and it'll, it'll come out the right way. Trust that, because at the end of the day, God is above, everything. So even if you don't believe in the pastor, you believe in God, and he'll give you an answer anyway,
And I thank you for that, Mirror, because it really helped me out a lot to put things in perspective, because I realized, I was like, you know what? You're doing what you're supposed to be doing to get yourself back into the trucking game. And as long as you stay focused and don't let us distract you, you can put that on the back burner and deal with it when you got some money to go see her and talk to her if it's necessary. And I only got one more task to do and I can go back to school. And that's because I kept myself focused and I wasn't worried about all the other unnecessary stuff. And I didn't let it bother me anymore because I'm like, you know what? Everybody got a journey and everybody makes decisions as humans. And this was her decision. So I didn't have nothing to do with it, you know. Like, it's unfortunate that she lost a kid with whoever it was, and I'm sad about that for her on a personal level. But for me, I'm trying to keep myself off the streets. I got to get myself back into my career.
You gotta wash your hands. Wash your hands with the situation, bro. And I can't say it enough, because like we've spoken on the phone, we've been in the same shoes, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of different things in our lives. And the best thing is, I've told you, I done been depressed, I done been down, and now I didn't thought about, you know, now why I've been with the crazy routes, but I've thought about things like, oh, I'm bad, you know, or I'm about to go do this, or I'm about to go do that because I'm bad. When you sit down and cut yourself off from everybody and reevaluate what's going on, it's like, all right, this is a lesson. And sometimes the lesson isn't for you. The lesson might be for somebody else. You know, you were the instrument in her life to teach her a lesson. It just sucks that you came out on the wrong end of it. You already know you're a strong man. You already know you got a CDL. You already know you can get to the bag. You know, you can gain game consulting because you've done it for years. So you already have all the tools that you need to get yourself on your feet. You just got to go and do it. You know,
sometimes the lessons that we learn,
you got to get knocked off. Yeah.
The lessons that we learn in life aren't always easy, man. They ain't always, they don't come like that. Sometimes the mugs knock you all the way down, like all the way down. But you got to realize that as long as you can breathe, as long as you got breath in you, get back up. And listen, bro, I don't know who that woman is, but sometimes you gotta thank them people for showing themselves to you. Because what if what if you'd have still been in that situation and got your bag back together and everything else, and then she run off with everything? Sometimes God take everything from us so somebody else can't take it from us, or we don't give it to them. We give away a lot of blessings, man. Your blessings that you have right now is your life, your intelligence, you know what I mean? Your wherewithal, your diligence. Keep moving, bro. Just keep going forward. Don't let none of that. And I know how love is. I'm not even gonna sit here and play the game like I know that love tug at your heart. It tug real hard, but you got to remember at the end of the day, bro, that if you allow that thing right there, that's not the only love you're going to have. Some people are for a reason, some people are for a season, and some people are to get us and prepare us for the right person. You hear me? So you've been through a lot of lessons. So when you do run into that right person, bro, you're gonna be ready. You're gonna be prepared. So
and that is a very true thing.
You got it, Brody.
When I was going through CDL school, I was having a hard ass time. Dude, this sucked. Like, there's this one technique called offset backing, which I swear to God, you never use this technique. But for some weird reason, you might when you have to park, you know, parallel parking. And I couldn't get it down. And if I wasn't able to pass it, I was going to owe the school like $5,000. And I remember thinking, like, I got on my knees and I asked God, I was like, look, man, I ain't never had a reason to believe in you. And I told him the truth. I was like, you ain't never done nothing for me except keep me alive in Iraq. But if you are real, if you could help me out, I'll turn everything I got over to you. And this is what made me want to get saved. Sky opened up because it was raining, and a beam of light came down on me. And a voice in my head said, get in the truck. I got you. I got in that truck. I started it up, and I did every single technique on that list like I've been doing it for the last 5 years without a single mark. And I got 100% on my test and got my license. And I remember getting out that truck and falling down and just crying. I was like, I can't believe this.
It happens, man. That's your testimony. Use your testimony, man, to keep going forward. Hey, man, I want to thank y'all for being here.
How times change every Wednesday. Best day of the app with 6'5" here. Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
You ain't have to say best day. I've been helping you all. Listen, Nate, you cussed. Nate, you cussed.
Look, first off, I started this, Nate. You know what I'm saying? I started saying the best day on. Look,
I need you to help me.
I'm about to. First off, the reason why Wednesday is the best day on the app is because we have the most shows with the best content creators of the app. Unfortunately, people like Lord and Summer decided to pick their day on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? They would have fit better on Wednesday, but they.
So it's cool. I'm going to Tuesday anyway. I'm gonna make sure everybody knows Tuesday will be the best.
Hey man, whatever you got to do to get close to Wednesday. Whatever you got to do to get close to Wednesday.
Man, come on with the shenanigans. I'm leaving, y'all. Thank you for having me. Y'all know what I got going on all week. I ain't got to sit here and take out of here. Bye, Nay. Hey, bro, keep your head up, kid. Keep your head up, bro. All right, Mary.
Thanks, Lord.
All right, Ken and Nay, always appreciate it. You guys helping out and all that good stuff. Everybody in the chat, we've seen a lot of the comments. Tay, I've seen Tay. Tay, I just wanted to go back to your comment. Men and drugs have destroyed a lot of women.
That's not necessarily always true, though.
Day-to-day living.
Women and drugs. Hey, because we could say women and drugs destroyed a lot of men. This was anything when drugs is the factor. We'll just say that.
I'll be in Whitney. Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
Cardi B.
Love and drugs.
Yeah, she cleaned her bank account from Offset, and now they all boo-booed up on Christmas with the kids and stuff, but then she don't go back and make a diss record on them. I'm like, come on now. That's just not necessary.
So, all right, hold on, Ken. So you're telling me because they're having hard times that they're not supposed to spend time with their kids on the holiday?
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying, like, it makes no sense. Like, you're legally married. I get that. But you're adults. You should be able to sit down and try and work this out instead of being like, okay, we're going to be cool for Christmas for the kids. But then the next day on 26th, I'm going to drop a diss record on your ass for some money.
We don't know what's going on in their personal lives. They could have had a perfect Christmas, and then he did something later on that night that triggered her to force her to do that the next day.
Gave her a yellow Lambo truck.
I want you to leave that woman alone, and I want you to move on with your life. Okay?
Come on, fine.
Somebody, she don't deserve you. Just
look. I told him. I said, once you get to that point, because you always automatically think you're the problem in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I the problem? Did I do this? There could have been something wrong. I could have did this. And then there's something that snaps into your head where you're like, F that girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to take care of it, you know, how I want to do it. And if something's going to hit you to where that's going to come in, because it happens for a lot of us, people that have been cheated on, people that have had hard times in their relationships. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he told me what happened to him, I had that same situation. I was messing with a girl and she cheated on me and got pregnant or whatever, right? And I didn't even know. And the reason why I found out is because people who found out that she was pregnant hit me up on Facebook and was like, congratulations.
Damn.
You know? And I was like, what? That's hella wild. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you crushed, you mad, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you from personal experience, you're gonna get over that 100. You know what I'm saying? Yes. No, you can't tag people in the comments, man. You have to write their names, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I got my goals in front of me. My first thing is I want to get my own plates. That's the first thing I'm going to be saving a couple months worth of checks for, and they're going to be pretty big, so I'm happy about that. I can pay like way in advance and have like a year's worth of rent paid up, have a place to live. And then later on, I'm gonna think about leasing.
You don't even have to do that. Like, you know, going back on the road, you could save up. You could literally save up the whole time, and just keep saving, bro, until you reach that goal to where you're like, all right, what do you want to do after trucking? Because you know you don't want to drive forever, you know.
Right.
So, but once you have the CDLs, it's always there, you know. So you seen what was going on during COVID. We needed the drivers.
Yeah, now freight's slowing down a little bit. Weird.
As far as like, I would say like your situation, you know, you've always like called me, and if you got any, I mean, I'm not a licensed therapist or mentor or any kind of way. I can only speak to you from personal experiences, and you go your own route on the situation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna get a divorce. You know what I'm saying? I was married at one time, so you know. You'll ask me about that and different things. But the best thing I can say, get back on the road and do you. You know what I'm saying? That's bad. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And all the stories that you got, all the moments that you have can help somebody. Because you never know. Somebody could in this life could be going through the same thing you're going through. And they might not necessarily speak it out loud, but they're like, oh man, I needed to hear that. You know, same thing how people are in church, they go to church and feel like a message is directly talking to them, you know? So I would just say, you know, take that information, you know, and do you, man.